Hey, my friends, it's Patrick Almond here from Stop Doing Nothing, and this is your rather weekly dose. Excuse me, just thought I heard something overhead. It's rather weekly dose of knowledge, wisdom from my several decades on this planet. And for those of you who have never tuned in before, I try to every week or two drop a podcast or a video or on YouTube. So, of course, I want you to go subscribe about what I've learned in life and business. And I don't do this for ego. I don't do this to stroke my ego or because I love to see myself on camera or because I love to hear my voice. I do this because I've learned some really important lessons in life and in business. And my goal, when you hear this, for those of you that are subscribers, I've got a good number of subscribers on YouTube, a good number of subscribers on iTunes and on the fan page. My goal is for all of you to have it easier and to have it better and to not go through the trials and tribulations in life that I've gone through in life. So I want, whether it's a coaching program or watching the free content, I want to make it easier for you to accomplish big things with your life. And as you can see behind me, for those of you that are watching on video, I'm all about the whole phrase, stop doing nothing, in so many aspects of life. So for those of you that are, again, listening for the first time, I'm just imparting knowledge to make it easier for you, to make it easier to manage your life, your body, your relationship, your finances. I've made so many mistakes in all these areas, and I'm constantly on this improvement path, and I'm never perfect. But man, I wake up every single day trying to do better. Today, I thought I would talk to you about the duality of your existence. And this is something I've learned from my life that I'm pretty sure that most of you watching this on YouTube or on Facebook or listening on the podcast are going to recognize in yourself, because it's something that happens with most people. We live in a duality, if you will, dual meaning two. And this is one of the things that has held me up from being successful in the past. And the more I work on the duality, or shall we say the lack of duality, the better I become as a person, and the more sincere I'm able to be, and the more revenue I'm able to generate, and the more sincerity I'm able to put forth, and the bigger of a tribe I build, which allows me to help more people, which in turn allows my tribe members to help more people, because all the stuff we're doing is just trickle down stuff. We're trickling down stuff and we're trickling up. We're helping people to stand on the shoulders from the mistakes we've made. So let's talk about the duality. Right now, most of you watching or listening are probably living a couple of lives, if not more than a couple. You've got the person that you like to think you are. You got the person that when there's nobody around you, or maybe you're in your car or in your house alone, or you're in the shower, you talk to yourself and you rehash situations, and you may curse a little bit, or you may be sitting by yourself in front of your iPad or your phone, you're thumbing through stuff on Facebook, and you're kind of a smart ass, if you will. And by smart ass, I don't mean that you're snarky. I mean that you say the things that you live a little bit unfiltered. When you are around by yourself mainly, you live unfiltered. You live more sincere. You live saying the things that you think. You know, oftentimes we're told there's a filter in our head. There's some kind of filter in between our brain and our mouth. Our brain says or thinks a certain thing, and the filter kicks in, and by the time it gets to the mouth, we're in safe mode, which is usually a pretty good idea. But you only find that person when you're alone, maybe after you've had a couple of drinks, which is not necessarily the best time to be in that mode, when you're in your car and someone cuts you off, or you're thinking of like a really good idea in your car, or like I said, you're by yourself in front of technology and you're scrolling through and you're reading news reports or Facebook posts or something your friend put out on Facebook, and you're like, man, that's a stupid idea. Or man, that's a really great idea. Or also you see people doing really good things and you're like, I had that idea before, why didn't I do that? So that's one side of the duality, if you will. And then, because there's at least two of you, if not three of you, there's the person that you are at work, or that you are with your spouse, or that you are with your kids, or that you are online, or that you are when you're in a social situation. And that person is post-filter. So for the duality, the first person is pre-filter, and the second person is post-filter, which means all those circumstances I told you about, whether you're with your spouse, your kids, online, at work, in social situations, assuming you haven't had too much to drink, that filter kicks in and you're very conscious and aware and you're very careful to tiptoe over the words that you say. You know you shouldn't call somebody stupid. You should say, well, maybe that's not the best idea. Or maybe you see someone doing something dumb online, you want to comment, and you're like, no, maybe I shouldn't comment about that. Or you have a really strong political opinion. You're like, no, I know my friends are conservative, liberals, Democrats, Republicans, or whatever. I really shouldn't say that. And so that filter kicks in, and that's the other you. That's the prim and proper you. That's the you that drives nicely when you want to cut people off. Not that I'm saying you should be a shitty driver, but that's the person, like I said, post filter that we're constantly having to be, and it's stressful, and it takes energy. It takes mental energy. It takes physical energy to be that person that society wants us to be, and that's part of our duality right there. I mean, some of the duality comes from the fact that we should just be nice people. But oftentimes the duality of how you should look, how you should dress, how you should speak, the opinions you should have, the times you should or should not have a filter, that comes from constantly struggling to be two separate people. And when you do this long enough, you realize that you are actually kind of holding yourself back, taking certain steps in life. Your success steps, monetary steps, physical steps, you are just living these two lives, and that second life, that filter you have on, really holds you back from doing the things you want to do. Now, let me explain this. When you are not as open and free with yourself, if you're kind of stifling yourself always, it carries over into the actions you take. It's not just mental and psychological, it carries over into the actions you take. You talk about doing really incredible, cool, badass, awesome things, but then your filter kicks in about is the timing right for that? Should I be doing that? Can I even do that? All these filters kick in that make you question the other person. So your prim and proper person of your duality is always questioning the wild and free-spirited badass person who lives without a filter. So you've got it's bad enough that we've got conflict from the outside. We've got conflict from the inside of these two people, the prim and proper person and the unfiltered person. And the more you go on in life and business and financial success, the more you're going to find out that when you live in this duality, it's really going to hold you back. It makes you put the brakes on so many risks, whether it's relationship risks or business risks or financial risks or political risks or traveling risks. That duality is really going to hold you back. And something I'm going to share with you that happened to me once I started slowly chipping away at that duality, because you can't just turn it off one day. You have to slowly, in my opinion, you have to slowly chip away in the duality, and you have to slowly open up to being, the real you 24/7. Once you start slowly chipping away at that duality, and you realize that that stifled person, that filtered person, can be more like that wild and free person, the person who has a strong opinions, not afraid to share it, things like that. The more you can kind of bring those two together, the more honest and true and risk-taking you can be. Whatever the opposite is of risk-averse. Risk-averse when you don't want to take risk. Proactively be riskful, if you will. Proactively be risky. There you go. The more risky you're willing to be with your life, the more adventure you're willing to have, because you are not living in that duality. You're not constantly fighting with yourself. The filter slows down things. The filter of the wild person versus the prim and proper person slows down things. Not only does it slow down your mouth, but it slows down your actions. It makes you think, something you could normally decide in about 30 to 60 seconds, you may take 5 minutes to decide that, and that 5 minutes may pan out into an hour, and then a day, and then a week, and all of a sudden, a really easy decision you could have made because of that filter you're going through, because of that duality that you're living in, that those decisions are slowed down. And what I've learned happen is that slowing process can span out into years. And all of a sudden, all this self-talk that you've done and this duality that you lived in and this pumping the brakes, if you will, for lack of a term, all that stuff slows you down. So a decision that really sometimes, I swear, it takes 30 seconds, maybe a minute or two. You can actually slow down those decisions into months and years. And you just keep putting it off and putting it off, and you keep thinking, oh, I can't do that. That's not right for me. I shouldn't do that. That's too risky. People are going to think I'm an asshole for being this way. People are going to think I'm stupid for my thoughts, things like that. So this duality that you're living in right now, you need to find a way to start chipping away at that duality. Stop finding a way to where you're risky, happy-go-lucky, free-spirited person is the person that more people see. That people see less of the filtered, prim and proper person, of the person who always does the right thing at the right time and has no opinion, and is kind of always wishy-washy and kind of always agreeable to things. That person's kind of mush. That person's really easy to push over all the time. The person who lives bold and brash is not easy to push over. You're going to find some people really like that side of you, but also it's going to allow you to make progress faster in your life. Make progress faster with your finances, in your business, in your personal life, in your physical body being, with your exercise. It's just going to allow you to make decisions faster, and you'll feel okay making decisions. Because this is one of the many benefits to this. Before I kind of wrap this up here, is when you learn to live outside that duality, when you learn to live more as an open and free spirit and someone who's not afraid of your brain, not afraid of the decisions you make, you will find, hopefully, that you're okay not having all the answers, and you're okay being more risky with the things you do. It's perfectly acceptable to be risky with the things you do. That doesn't have to bother you as much. So not only do you live more free, if you will, and you feel more comfortable in your skin and in your clothes, your life actually starts moving faster. Your business grows faster. Your personal life grows faster. Everything that used to move really slow for you starts moving really fast, somewhat chaotic even, and you get to be comfortable in that chaos. Does that make sense? So, this is one of those things where I'm constantly struggling on, but I've noticed when I teach people about this and they kind of change themselves, things just work out so much for the better. So if you're interested, comment below on this. Also, I would encourage you that if you want to know more about how to do this, we've got all kinds of coaching over at stopdoingnothing.com, where you can work with us in a group environment, or you can work with us one-on-one. So just do me a favor, go visit stopdoingnothing.com. If you can't find the right form, comment or leave a message there over on Facebook, and we'll get you hooked up with the right link. But we've got coaching here that can basically help you get rid of that duality and live more as an honest, true, free spirit. Because once you do, man, let me tell you, you're willing to curse on camera, you're willing to say anything you damn well please, you're willing to be more open on social media, and you're going to eliminate some people in your life. I'm going to warn you right now, you're going to cut some people out of your life, but man, you're going to really build up a loyal friend base. Some of your family members are going to love you a lot more, and you're going to build up that huge tribe, which is what you're going to need to change the world. So again, if this has been useful for you, subscribe on iTunes, leave a rating if you would there, subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment there, and subscribe on Facebook. And if you want to know more about how we can help you get rid of this duality, hop on over to stopdoingnothing.com, check out one of our coaching programs, and as always, you can hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm all over the place. So once again, thank you for watching. Subscribe, leave some ratings, and we'll see you on the next episode of the YouTube show for Stop Doing Nothing, or on the podcast for Stop Doing Nothing. As always, my friend, be brave, be bold, and go out there and let's do some amazing shit this week. Take care.